Lion face. Oh, lemon face.
Yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather. Unique New
York.
Unique New York.
M&M.
Bumblebee.
Okay.
Oh.
What a bunch of a-holes.
Hi, I'm Charity.
Hi, I'm Crystal.
I'm Rebecca.
I'm Danielle.
And you're listening to Hello Sweetie Podcast.
All girl.
All geek.
All the time.
Bitches.
But someone wanna pick you from the bunch. One glance was all it took. Now was supposed to late for me to take a second look.
It's a goodie bag.
I know. It's like I am some kind of celebrity and I went to an event and I got
That's all you need is to think you're some kind of celebrity more than you do.
Burn.
you burnt. Rude. Don't you know who I am? Actually, we got
Who
to
the
do.
fuck are you? You haven't been here. Where have you been? We missed you.
Are we recording this?
Yes.
Good.
Explain yourself.
Fourth wall.
I'm sorry. I was busy doing stuff. Maybe you've heard of it.
I missed you so much.
It's called Canada. Maybe you've heard of it.
Yeah.
Did you find out
And
about
Mother's
what's
Day.
his name?
Wait, what?
What was his name? Captain Canuck?
I have it. Oh no, it's at home. I got because Dr. Volts had extras, and I was like, "Do you guys have like that Captain Canuck issue from Free Comic Book Day?" And Dave was like, "Yeah, I've got a whole stack of them." And I'm like, "Of course you do."
Nobody cared about Captain Canuck.
Poor Canada.
And I was there's like character outlines in the back, kind of like detailing who the different characters are. And there's one character in there named Quebec, and she got her name
because she fought in the Battle of Quebec.
and she keeps correcting everyone on the correct pronunciation of Quebec. It's not Quebec, it's Quebec. And so everyone calls her Quebec.
That's awesome. Quebec.
Ah, no, don't do this. Don't do this thing.
That's
How
amazing.
How was everybody's weekend?
It was
Weeks?
good.
So fucking busy.
We have so much to talk about. I'm so excited. I've just been looking forward to this all week because of all the wonderful nerdy things that happened to us all this week.
I've been looking forward to being back.
Aw.
We've been looking forward to having you back. So,
Thanks.
yay, welcome.
I brought someone with me.
Who is it? Who is it?
It's me.
so unimpressive.
I'm sorry.
Yes, it's me.
Who are you?
I'm Lucas
Hi, Lucas.
What do you do?
of Big Shiny Robot.
What's your robot?
Killtaculartron. I don't
that's
really
I
write
thought it was
very often.
Damitron.
Damitron? No, my handle is Dammit Lucas because in most games that's said a lot. So
I say that just in general.
I feel
What's
like
true?
you're table flipping emoji-tron.
it could be.
Yeah.
It could be.
Yeah.
But now other people are doing that, so I have to find something new.
Oh my
It's so
god.
played out.
It's played
so
out.
played out.
I was table flipping before it was cool.
I was.
He kind of was table flipping.
I-
He was there for that.
Yeah, I was commenting on everybody's status I knew with that. But that's
Yeah.
it. Nothing
But
too
why,
exciting.
So why are you here?
Because you lovely ladies invited me.
To
Thank you very much.
To talk about.
I'd like to talk about Mad Max as well as other wonderful things.
No,
Yes.
damn it.
Damn
it,
Lucas.
You guys,
We're
you
pimping
guys got to
something.
prep me more than this. Well, I would love to talk about the swap meet. That's coming up May 31st.
Get closer
Get
to your
closer to the
mic.
mic.
I'm
That's why I'm
kinda
turning
big
my
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's good. Oh, we got it. She
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm turning him up.
Badass.
I have
We
faith
got
in
a
the crystal.
Badass bitch over here.
Yes, May
Lucas.
31st at the Bohemian, we'll be doing a swap meet from 2 o'clock till 7 o'clock. It'll be pretty sweet. We did one last year, and a lot of people showed up. It was a lot of fun. Some of the highlights, I think we have 30 vendors now. So
Wow.
different people bringing their collectibles or comic books, different things like that to sell.
And like these jerks, they show up with pogs. Sell the hell out of them.
Yeah, right?
To my wife.
Freaking Heather bought so many.
She was very excited about those.
I got her all the dinosaur ones.
And she gave a bunch of them to my nephews, and they really didn't care, unfortunately.
She's like, I'm cool, Aunt Heather. And they're like, okay, thanks for the cardboard circles.
That's about as quick as it went. Another cool thing that the Bohemians doing this time, as opposed to last time, is they'll be doing brewery tours.
Yes.
Very
cool.
Which will be sweet. I don't know that the price is set, but last I'd heard it's $10 for a mug, and you get to keep the mug. And then they take you through a tour, and you get to try all the beers that they have in the back.
Oh man! And if you have never had Bohemian beer, this is a treat for you.
Bohemian doesn't have a bad beer.
It
I
does
love
not.
all of their things.
I'm gonna when I do the tour, I'm gonna pretend to fill up my mug, and then I'm gonna look at you guys and say, "Describe this one to me."
Why don't you just fill it up and give it to me?
It's beery.
Fill it up and give it to
The
me.
aftertaste?
Do it all Daredevil style. We'll just like pour a beer on someone's face, and Danielle will like touch their face and try to absorb like the flavors.
Taste my beer, Foggy.
Right, tasting just like if you were Daredevil, you know, like if you were mad.
I wish you were Daredevil, Foggy.
The worst.
Well, you could try that. That might work.
I'm gonna try that. Like Rebecca just out of nowhere is gonna have like beer dumped on her. I'm just gonna be like grabbing her face.
Guess what? I'm gonna love it.
Also, you should misquote as many kind of similar circumstances as possible. So just start saying like, "Paint me like one of your."
You guys,
paint me like one of
you
your
guys,
French girls.
I didn't
Jack.
get to tell you about like so I went to a beer festival in Canada, right?
Oh yeah, tell us.
No, so I'll just tell you one story that's relevant to our podcast because you know how
That's ideally how we would do it.
Something relevant.
because Rogue made a Hellboy beer, right?
Yep.
And
I'm waiting on mine still.
yeah, and so
That was free.
I go up to the Rogue booth and they only have like their 2 Rogue beers that the Rogue does, and I'm like, oh, whatever. I want the Hellboy beer, and I tell the guy, I'm like, oh, that's too bad you don't have the Hellboy beer, and he's like, what's that? And I'm like, it's this beer that Rogue made that's based off of Hellboy, and he's like, I don't know what that is, and I'm like, Hellboy's a comic book character, and Rogue made a beer based off of this comic book character, and I felt so bad because the guy looked so defeated. He's like, well, I guess it just didn't. They maybe made it at the brewery, but it didn't make it up here to Canada. And I'm like, oh, whatever. And we left, and Andrew was like, you didn't have to be such a dick about
And
that.
that person's like,
Did Hellboy ever make it to Canada?
that person's like,
I don't know.
damn it, another American disappointed in Canada, and it's all my fault.
No, what was great though, we about died laughing because there were beer seminars that we could go to. They were actually really disappointing. And
because of the lack of drunken.
no, because of the lack of information. We went to one called Beer 101, expecting it to be like about beer, and we're
You're
here
basic about
and we're
beer.
here to learn. And it's some guy talking about all the different breweries in Alberta. Spoiler alert: there was like 5, and he literally walks in apologizing, and we're like, "That's it, we can go home." sorry. We're like, okay.
So let's tell you
Wrap
all
it
about
up.
all the different kinds
Wow.
of breweries in Alberta.
Sorry,
Beer 101.
Oh, wait, where were you?
Calgary.
Calgary. They don't have like the Midwest Canadian accent, do they?
No, they have that Canadian accent where you can only tell they're Canadian, like
When
if they say sorry.
Okay,
Yeah,
so it's kind of like
Or about.
or if they say Zed.
All right, so welcome to the podcast, everybody. Is it episode number 165?
Four.
It was 4 last week,
164.
wasn't
It's 163 last week.
it? Oh, really? Okay.
I said it one time.
Welcome to episode number 164 of
Hello,
sweetie.
You too, Lucas. I saw you hesitate.
Yeah, you
Y'all
wanted
did.
to. Like,
You did really well.
I know.
I didn't want to mess it up.
No, it's okay. You
did
can say
great.
the end one if you want.
The end one? Oh,
You can
Yeah,
end
yeah,
one.
yeah.
you can cue me
Yeah.
in like 3,
Also-
2, Wayne's World.
You can, yes. I believe I requested the hand job. Also, you can have a sign off too. That's like a
Ooh.
fancy
Yeah.
thing we do.
Wow.
So,
So-
prepare yourself for that in
So now
about
you're
an
ready.
hour
But I
and a
know
half.
I'll be
that
thinking.
I know that you already have that all prepared because 1, you listen to the podcast, and 2, you have a notebook full of notes.
I do have notes.
Yeah,
Like,
Lucas
I'm
came
very impressed.
super
Like,
prepared.
Yeah.
You're a fucking
So
baller.
let's jump right into this.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
What's
get
the
this
first
started.
story again?
Oh, it's this horrible fucking news about The Craft and how they're remaking it.
I
know
watched
what?
this movie as a child,
Yes, I watched this
love
movie
The
as an
Craft.
angsty teen.
and then I was like, "Stiff as a feather, light as a board." You say? Wait,
Other
stiff
way
as
around.
a
Light as a feather, stiff as a board.
stiff as a feather.
You were
What are
close.
these birds with stiff ass feathers where Rebecca's from?
The craft got me into Wicca.
Oh,
So
yeah?
that's something.
I think The Craft got every like 16-year-old girl into
It
Wicca.
got
I wasn't 16. When
it got
The
me
Craft
really
came
into
out.
like leather chokers.
Kinky.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But okay, so
It got me really
this is my
into
response to everybody getting upset
Nat
and
Campbell.
angry about the Craft remake. The original is still there. Like, this doesn't ruin the original. It doesn't affect the original. Nothing.
Wait,
So,
is this a sequel or a reboot?
It's a remake.
A remake. I don't know what, like a reboot, like it's part of a series.
right.
Rebecca's
They're
very
rebooting
confused.
the Craft
Wasn't
universe.
Empire Records the sequel?
Right. Oh my god. Damn the man.
That's why.
Save the
That's
Empire.
why she wore a wig. Like Robin Tunney wore a wig throughout the Craft, was because her head was shaved from Empire Records. Or Empire Records was before. That's a prequel. There we go.
Somebody wore a wig at some point in time.
The moral of the story is it was difficult.
I get that.
So
what's
I don't want them to remake it because the
Neither does
original is
Veruza
still
Balk.
there. Because the original is still there.
But you could say that about any movie.
Well, I don't think that they should remake a lot of the movies they do for that reason.
But it's unfortunately.
But then
it's
we
not
wouldn't
like
have Fury Road, and we have to talk about that. So
But
I
that was
guess
like-
I
That
guess
wasn't
that-
a remake.
No, that's true.
It's not a
That's-
remake.
It's not
It's
a
a spiritual
reboot either.
sequel.
Nope, it's a
Yeah,
sequel.
It's
it is a
from what I
sequel.
read from George Miller, it's an independent film from the franchise,
Oh,
but he
okay.
didn't want to reboot it all, so he just makes references to things that had happened before.
So,
but
like
it's
a-
outside of continuity.
So it's like a spiritual sequel.
It's kind of like it's its own movie.
It's its own movie.
Think of it like James Bond.
That's
Yep.
what I was gonna say.
That's-
You made the reference.
Yep.
We were talking about that. And I'm like, it's not a
It's-
sequel,
it's
but
the
it's
Daniel
like
Craig
the
James Bond movies.
story
Yes,
of, a
Yeah.
of an
exactly.
angry Max.
And he's got like the leg brace, which is from
Yeah.
Road Warrior, and different things that
Exactly.
kind of throw back to the old movie.
Yeah,
And
But-
the little
I'm
kid
so excited to get there.
that kept popping up.
It's true, but I don't want to derail.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
we
we
cannot
got
talk about
big
Mad
Mad
Max.
We
Max
have a
talk.
really hard
So
time.
the
with
Craft,
that.
we're gonna pass on that.
Yes.
I've never seen it, so I could care less.
Okay,
You really
you and I are
haven't?
gonna have a movie.
Care less.
Okay, we're
You
gonna have a
and I are gonna have a
sleepover.
movie night, and
No.
we're gonna fucking watch it.
We're
We're
having
gonna-
a sleepover, actually.
We have to all have a sleepover because Crystal hasn't seen The Craft and half of us haven't seen Mad Max movies.
Yes.
Yep.
So, and then I also got like a
Half,
fuck
it's
ton
like-
of movies from Sean Means last night at my housewarming party.
Nice.
Nice.
So I got
So-
Ryan Reynolds voices, like the Ryan Reynolds is a serial killer movie.
I wanted to see that.
Right? So we're gonna have a movie night.
Nice. And then afterwards, we can do Bloody Mary in the mirror and try
And
to do
the-
stiff as a feather, light as a board. All these light ass boards. Rebecca's
What is
house.
this, particle board?
Balsa wood. Anyways, cosplayer
Next story,
humor.
guys.
Jesus.
So Natalie Portman, so she's gonna play two boss ladies in a movie. She
In the same movie?
No, in different movies. How cool would this movie be though?
HBIC?
If she was Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Jackie Kennedy in the same movie.
Whoa.
I want it, but the times don't seem to work.
No, I know. So time traveling Ruth Bader Ginsburg goes back in time to try to save John F. Kennedy.
Yes, I love it. I would watch
Can
the
we
fuck
please
out
watch
of this
this
movie.
movie?
I would watch this movie.
Why
from the
doesn't Holly
makers
write listen
this
to
movie?
us?
from the makers of Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Comes Ruth Bader
Bader time
Ginsburg, time traveling assassin beater.
Supreme Court time traveler.
Yes.
Uh,
Assassinator. She could be like the Dexter of assassins, traveling back through time to prevent presidential assassination.
anyway, Natalie Portman will star as Jacqueline Kennedy in the movie Jackie, which follows the first 4 days of the First Lady's life after the assassination
also
of
a musical?
John F. Kennedy. I wish.
The way that you
The way
said that,
it,
right?
It sounded like it had like an exclamation
I saw
point.
jazz
There-
hands the way she said it.
I'm
Ready?
thinking
Who's the
of
stylish girl in town? It's Jackie.
Yes.
whose husband was just killed before her. Jackie. I'm thinking of like Will and Grace, Just Jack, 2002. So that's where I'm coming from.
See, I'm thinking of Chicago with like the Roxy, like with like.
Jackie. Oh.
Jackie, the musical.
I'm dead.
I want that movie.
Two things really fast. We have a sponsor,
Well,
and we'll do that in just a second. But also, happy belated birthday to one of our lovely listeners, Cassidy.
Cassidy.
Lovely listener,
Today, technically, on recording day, it's Cassidy's birthday, but by the time this uploads, it'll be 3 days late. But that's okay. Happy belated birthday. I
We
told you I'd
love
give
you,
you a shout out.
Cassidy.
Here you are.
Happy birthday.
She helped me clean up my house last night.
Oh, that is
and
an
take
awesome
care of
on
thing.
her
Drunken
birthday.
I know, she did. She did. She held back friend's hair, and because I couldn't listen to it.
So
You're a sympathetic puker.
I am
sponsor.
Speaking of sympathetic,
Good segue.
that was a bad segue.
That's never gonna work.
No,
Much
much more pleasant than that. is
Pastor
our
Games
sponsor.
and Comics, 6831 South State Street. I went there recently for Warhammer figures.
Yes.
What?
They
Not
have
for
those
me.
there.
Okay.
It's for a friend.
Holding it for a friend.
And the other things they have there that you can buy for your friends are games, toys,
Oh, but we
comics, and
also
more.
bought a game. We bought Arkham Horror.
Oh, nice.
It was fun.
Is it like? Tell us what it's like.
It's
like,
Is it like Hero Clicks, but with horror figures?
no, it's takes place in an H.P. Lovecraft themed world, and there's ancient demons that you have to keep from taking over the world.
Nice.
And if enough demons come forth and the terror level raises, it unleashes the big ancient.
So nothing
evil.
to do with
Wow.
DC Comics or Joker or
No,
the DC
Arkham. No,
universe.
Arkham is the name of
Right.
the town in the H.P. Lovecraft.
Right.
Yeah,
Which is why Arkham Asylum.
which is why Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
Fuck off with your Batman knowledge.
So, anyways.
Anyway,
next story.
Oh my God, this angered me so much. Can we talk about how Disney is the worst?
no, this guy is the worst about how he bought a plot of land in Africa or something and
stuck a
claimed
flag
himself a
in it.
king.
Yeah, but Disney
So
is
his
the
daughter could be a princess.
But then Disney is the worst for
Making a movie out of it.
yeah, and basically affirming that. So yeah, let's talk.
That Disney is racist.
That Disney is racist. So I love the way that the person who wrote this article prefaces it, because this particular person has some experience with knowing about Africa and about the colonization of Africa by
White people.
Yes. Which basically, I mean, everybody's heard Eddie Izzard's jokes about sail across the sea and stick a flag in, but that's basically what
But I
they
have
did.
a flag. Do you
Right.
have a flag?
Right. Exactly. So that's basically what happened. So,
So how did he acquire this land?
so
He paid a Nigerian prince $1 million or something.
Oh my God. So instead of the Nigerian prince emailing him asking him for money, he emailed the Nigerian prince to offer him money.
In Soviet Africa.
That's not even how it happened, which would have been even better than what did actually happen. But he actually just went to an unclaimed 800 square mile patch of desert, and on June 16th literally stuck a blue flag that he had created into the sand and named himself king of this unclaimed patch of land. So he calls it, what does he call it?
Something stupid.
The Republic he calls it the Kingdom of North Sudan.
AKA Dickville.
And so this is what happened. His daughter said she wanted to be a princess. So this guy from Virginia in America, and
Really?
it just shows how little Americans think of Africa. It shows that we still feel like this is a place that doesn't contain humanity or that isn't real to us.
That
of savages.
Land is a free for all. Also,
yeah, that there's that it's still just this place where you can just be entitled because you're white, and that's not the way the world fucking works. And
I'm angrily vibrating inside
I
right
know.
now.
It's kind of how the
So,
world.
yeah.
I was gonna say it kind of is
So
how the
he's-
world works.
So it is, which is fucked up. But yeah, so this Virginia mining executive, just because his daughter said she wanted to be a princess, just went over and was like, I own this. I'm a king now. And my daughter is now a princess.
That's how slaves were a thing.
yeah, exactly.
Well, okay, so what basis of a movie
Yeah, where does Disney get
yeah,
involved?
So it's gonna
Disney
be-
goes, oh, he'll go to the ends of the earth to make his daughter a princess. How sweet. What a warm family moment. Let's make a movie about it.
So it's gonna star Bradley Cooper as
Yep.
as the lovable dad.
Yep.
I
Yep.
do love Bradley Cooper.
B Coops. Ugh.
B Coops?
Gross.
And also,
Rebecca
this
feels
man
he's a
is
liar.
now raising money online and will allow you to become a knight, a real knight, or to name a street.
it's a
or-
pyramid scheme.
Or have your face on the money of his newfound kingdom.
It's a funnel system. It's an upside down funnel system.
Yes. Because, so this is what
So
the
he's making
person
money
from...
off of this now.
Yeah.
What
so,
a dick.
I love this statement that the author makes. Says, claiming that the 800 miles are his since they're currently uninhabited, and he put a flag there. Jeremiah Heaton, this mining executive from Virginia, has confirmed not just how little he thinks of Africa, but how little Disney thinks of Africa.
I'm sorry. Disney made monkey movies and The Lion King. And they
Never-
really
and
like
Princess and the
Africa.
Frog.
Says never would
And
Says never would a random white American try such a stunt anywhere else in the world, but in the motherland of the people America has so furiously oppressed for hundreds of years. So, it's just gross all around.
I hate Disney sometimes. Like, I love Disney.
Remember when they tried to make the the sugar skulls? They tried to patent the
they
Day
tried
of
to
the
patent
Dead.
Day of the Dead.
Yeah.
We're like, fuck
Oh,
off,
really?
Disney.
Yeah.
I've heard about that. Wow.
Yeah, you don't get to trademark a holiday that's been around for centuries.
culture.
You don't get to trademark culture, Disney.
Right.
Disney,
Just
why do
let
you have
it
to
go.
make me cry? Like, you make so many good things.
You don't even go here.
Why you gotta make me cry, Disney?
We're a lot of singing today.
Right? I feel the music in my soul.
Can we do Hairspray next?
Oh, yes. Baltimore. Okay, so
The Fault in Our Stars director is going to direct the X-Men spinoff and make you very sad because that's all he knows how to do.
It's gonna be X-Men with cancer.
Okay?
So-
Okay.
What is this X-Men spinoff?
It is called New Mutants.
it's
It's about two
just the
kids
most
with
heavy-handed
cancer
title that you
and
one of them gets in a car accident and has to try to stay alive or something.
so the comic New Mutants was the first ever X-Men spin-off. It launched in the early 1980s as X-Men was on its way to becoming Marvel's best-selling and biggest franchise, featuring the angst-driven adventures of a diverse group of mutants such as Brazilian Sunspot, Native American... Oh, this is their nationalities. I thought this was like their
Brazilian
name.
sunspot, Native American mirage.
Scots girl Wolfsbane, Vietnamese Karma, and a Kentuckian named Cannonball.
I wonder how many of
How
them are
exotic.
gonna whitewash.
Kentucky, how exotic!
Quick, write it down.
When are they hoping to have this come out?
Look at you being
Thanks
so good
for
at keeping
us on task.
I really want to know.
Yeah, we want
They
to know
don't
the
say
listeners wanna know.
just that they have hired Josh Boone, the guy who directed Fault in Our Stars.
So there is no release date
He will
yet.
co-write the script with Nate. Knate.
Yeah, probably
Nate
the case silent.
Gwaltney. Sorry, Nate, your name is spelled dumb. Kadum.
Knigget.
Knate.
Oh my God! Anyways, Knate.
Knate has an innate sense.
Is Knate a knave?
You guys stop.
All right, let this joke die.
Dad jokes for you. And dad jokes for you.
And you get a dead joke. And you get a dead joke.
Don't say dead. I said dad.
Oh,
Wow!
Kind
now
of a big
it's
difference.
dead. You ruined it.
Doodly-oo.
anyway.
Yeah, so no, there's no release date or anything on it right now.
Speaking of X-Men, James McAvoy is shaving his head. That's
He's not just shaving his head.
That's
his head
news.
is actually shaved. It is. That means that all of a sudden we're jumping ahead to bald. For somehow Professor X went from this full head of beautiful hair to bald.
Yeah.
Did he suddenly
Stress.
get alopecia?
Like age?
Stress.
Wasn't this in the 80s?
Yes.
And the last one was in the 70s?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
so
10
the next
years
one's
and
in the
he's,
ni-
fully
the-
bald. That's pretty impressive.
the next one's in the 90s.
My friend went bald in high school. So,
Oh, that's right. The next one isn't
Really?
the
Oh, that
Yeah.
sucks for him.
So it does happen pretty quick
It
for
does
some
happen,
people.
and then they just shave. Start
He's
to shave
really
your head.
stressed.
Right,
Because you have to get you have to accept it.
Yeah.
At some point
Yeah.
you have to just be like, all right,
Don't
we're
do the
committing.
comb over.
Gotta
Yeah,
own
no.
it.
Just yeah. Just
Don't do the
commit.
ponytail.
Don't do the skullet.
Oh, the skullet.
Don't skull it.
I didn't know that's what that was called.
Every time I see anybody try to do a skullet, I immediately think Riff Raff from
I think
Rocky
Benjamin
Horror.
Franklin.
That too.
I'm just like,
Oh.
ew.
Put your kite and key.
Kite?
Kite? No,
Kite.
it's kite.
It's not
a knite.
that. So Is that so? That's just it. Like, hey, guess what? The timeline
his hair
is
cut.
forward 20 years, and his hair is gone. So we all knew that was gonna happen.
That
I
male
feel
pattern
like-
baldness was strong in him.
Probably gonna have to wear a wig at some point.
I feel like this is a bigger deal than when Charlize like shaved her hair for Mad
That's
Max.
because she has a gorgeous head.
I know, but like,
Oh, she does have
shaved
a
her
gorgeous
head.
head.
Whatever
She
she
shaved her head,
wants.
and I feel like the internet was like, "Oh, she shaved her head."
But that's because she shaved her head before.
Yeah, and so James McAvoy gets a haircut.
Because he looks terrible bald.
And the
You don't
internet
know.
I
explodes.
saw the pictures. He doesn't look good bald. I'm sorry. He's got a it's too round. His head.
You prefer it lumpy?
No,
He's got to have some character.
real heads have lumps.
Hashtag real
the girl
heads
with
have
lumps on
lumps.
her head.
Can we please tweet that as like a teaser for next week's episode? Hashtag real heads have lumps. Okay. Okay.
All right. But no, like but when Anne Hathaway shaved her head, that was really huge news. When Natalie Portman first shaved her head, that was huge. So what you trying to say,
So
Rebecca?
nothing. Good job on destroying those double standards.
Yeah,
Internet.
ladies.
Who run the world? James McAvoy.
So can we talk about how the people who made the Gem and the Holograms movie have obviously never seen Gem and the Holograms?
I think you should.
Yeah,
I'd love to
I've
hear more about it.
I've also never seen Gem and the Holograms, but
Me
I watched
either.
that trailer and I was like, that is not Gem and the Holograms.
Right? You can just be vaguely culturally aware of them and be like, aren't there bad guys in this show?
I thought they fought crime. Didn't they fight crime?
No, they fought
they
the
solved
Misfits.
they fought the
mysteries.
Misfits.
Yeah.
We
They-
are the Misfits.
The Misfits. They were the
Yeah.
cool girls.
Yeah.
That's who I wanted to be, was the Misfits.
Crystal.
Wait, they were.
They did, of
They have
course.
the best name. Did any of them have devil locks? Were any of them Danzig?
Yeah, they were.
Wait, so
Yeah,
they were
Danielle
the.
Danzig
the edgy
was
ones.
one of the Misfits in Gem and the Holograms.
Yeah, I
That's how we
really
got to
like that.
start.
I would really like that.
Wait, so the Misfits were the cool girls?
No, they
The
were the
Misfits
bad
were the
girls.
bad-
They wore black and purple.
You thought they were cool.
Yeah.
Well, they were
like
like
one of them have green
edgy.
hair.
they were like the
Yeah.
punk rock girls.
Yeah, they were the
yeah.
punk, more punky. Gem
And
was more
Gem and
poppy.
the Holograms
They were more
the
bubblegum
glam
pop.
pop.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
were more
glam
glam
pop.
pop. Yeah.
It's Jen or Gem?
Gem.
Gem.
Jem. And they were
Right.
truly outrageous.
They were.
So there's a comic book, as I understand it, Gem and the Holograms, which everybody seems to love.
Yeah, I heard
Yeah.
the new comic is
And
really
so,
good.
kind of interesting fact around that, the person doing the art for that was Ross Campbell, who did Ninja Turtle stuff, and he's currently transgendering into a woman,
Nice.
Sophie Campbell.
Truly outrageous.
And
And-
badass.
And I guess the comic is really good, so I think if you want something awesome from Gem,
Yes,
maybe check that
I
out.
would, because I would actually like to know about Gem. Because
To know more about
More,
To know- I would.
more than just that she's truly.
So
truly,
in the trailer, she's
truly
like a
outrageous.
foster kid.
Outrageous.
Is that?
I don't remember if she was a foster kid.
Yeah, usually like Hanna-Barbera cartoons from like the 70s didn't really get into that kind of themes.
Well, no, that's why I was really confused by the trailer. I was like, oh, is
Boopin
there?
was a crack baby.
But here's the thing.
Scrappy was born a couple of weeks early.
And I know that we'll talk about this when we talk
Left
about
in
the
a dumpster.
Supergirl trailer, but did anybody else just like expect to just hear like making my way down south, walking fast in the background, just forgetting that? Just like, oh my god, what is this movie? It's just the Josie and the Pussycats movie. It's the same exact
no, but Josie and the
premise.
Pussycats is going to be like 10 times better than this stupid.
Josie
No,
and the
movie.
Pussycats
was
was dope.
Was amazing.
No, is still amazing.
Yes,
It's
very
dope.
amazing. It's because it's a parody
That's
of
a
itself,
Rebecca
and
word.
it makes fun of subliminal messages, which is the greatest. And it has Parker Posey in it,
And Alan Cumming.
who are both amazing. They're like the best part of that movie.
And Donald Faison.
Not-
And Seth Green.
let's
And
not.
Breckin Meyer.
No, stop. Let's not name people who are in movies, or else we'll be here forever.
right? Plus, this isn't interesting. Our listeners are like, welcome to IMDB, the podcast.
I want to actually do that and see how many listeners. Just like each episode, you go through and you read everything on an IMDb.
Just like the cast, the like
a select
the
few
grips.
quotes.
Fun fact: this scene was improvised.
Oh my gosh. So
Be a companion
I
to
guess
your
that
movie
takes
watching.
us to the
Meninists. No, before we get there, Meninists don't want you to see Mad Max. Let's
Which-
discuss why.
Well, we should discuss Mad Max and that
So-
in the yeah. We'll
I know
talk
this
about
is
all
my
of this.
segue.
Yeah,
I
segue.
did this in purpose.
So we all saw it, right? Lucas, have you seen it?
Yes,
Okay.
Heather and I got to see it this morning just for this podcast.
Oh,
I really wanted to see it first.
He's like, I can't go. They'll spoil all of it for me.
He's like, I'll have to bounce by the time.
To the box.
well, the entire
Well, we're
world.
out of the box.
Yeah, because the entire world has gone to this movie.
Crystal's box.
I can't believe that movie is still being watched.
From what I-
Perfect one.
From the article I found, and they've raised $109 million globally thus far. And that was maybe yesterday, so that doesn't include today and whatever last night was.
All right, let's find out if it's number 1. Number 10, Far from the Madding Crowd.
Maddening crowd.
Maddening. Why does it just say Madding?
Because somebody can't fucking spell. Jesus Christ, whoever wrote this
They
article,
just, like,
get
really
on your
wanted to shorten
shit.
it.
They're just like, ugh, EN. I
Ugh.
can't bother with the EN in there.
The EN just like makes it too long and it makes it a mouthful, so you get it.
It's Madding. You know,
Trim
we're just
syllables.
angry. It's a mad crowd. Number 9.
Again.
It's like
Someone big is in it. I just don't
totally
remember who.
I was on the list to go see it, but then I didn't because I was busy.
Who is in it?
Let's take a look.
Because I know it's got like at least one big name.
Oh,
actor
Carrie
in it.
Mulligan.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably it.
I love her.
I didn't
What
learn
about
anything from that explanation.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, and yeah.
Let's see.
She's excited.
Carrie Mulligan's an actress. She was married to Heath Ledger. No, she wasn't married to Heath Ledger. She just had his baby.
She had.
No,
it.
she didn't have his baby. Carrie Mulligan. No, that was Michelle Williams, dude.
They are the same to me. No, Carrie Mulligan is married to Mumford & Sons.
Tell me that doesn't say Madding. There's no maddening.
Oh. Well, then they
Oh snap!
need to get their movie fixed.
I'm like, hey, okay,
Fix your movie. Fix your movie.
Picture movie. It's a Victorian, so it's a historical timepiece. We've got Carrie Mulligan.
Oh.
That's really Holly. Michael Sheen.
Michael Sheen.
Michael Sheen. But Sean reviewed this one and said it was really good.
Yeah, that's who I remember was in it. Michael
But
Sheen.
also-
It's getting 83% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Very
Michael
cool.
Sheen.
71 on Metacritic too.
Number 9.
Number 9, Ex Machina.
So good.
Glad it's
Yeah,
hanging
Go
see
in.
that.
see it, dummies.
Number 8, Home. Number 7, The Age of Adeline.
I want to
Wow,
see
that's
that.
Hanging in, but it did fall fast. But
Yeah.
it's still hanging.
Well, it's 'cause
It was
we've
like
got
number
some-
2, and then it was like number 4.
Because everyone's moms already went and saw it. So
Yeah, Mother's Day is over, so
Number 6, Furious 7. Yeah, still.
I know you haven't even been here since it like came out.
Excited for you.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
She
Number
listened. She heard us.
Oh, but wait,
We touched her heart.
Okay, keep going.
Number 5 is Paul Blart.
what? How? How still how?
Because you can still buy 64-ounce soft drinks in this country.
Oh, okay.
It's
Number
true.
4, Hot Pursuit.
How?
I don't know. I don't know
Because
why.
you can still buy 64.
because they seen Mall Cop last.
Because they went to see Paul Blart and then they couldn't get up because of all the 64-ounce sodas.
So
they
we might
drank.
as well just
So they
stay
just
Hold
here.
on
stayed
over
for
to
Hot Pursuit, which it affects the ratings.
Number 3, Avengers: Age of Ultron.
Cool.
Number 2,
Wow.
Mad Max is number 2.
Oh my god, it's number 2. I know what number 1 is.
What is number
That's
one?
madness. That
I-
is
No,
number 1.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
do you know why though? It's the R rating.
Why? What is it? Tell me.
Pitch Perfect.
That's
is number
really
1.
I am a genius, and y'all didn't listen.
Okay.
Get for second
And I'm going to
me.
blame Rebecca because she saw Pitch Perfect
Twice.
Yeah, I didn't pay for it either time.
But it doesn't matter.
Just
like
tipped
local
the-
celebrity Rebecca Frost
Yeah.
sways the numbers.
Yep.
but
Has the
you-
Rebecca Frost
you're right,
stamp
Danielle.
of approval.
Like number 2 for a rated R movie. That's pretty big.
Yeah, that is.
That
yeah.
is pretty big.
It is. But that's like there's a lot of people that went and saw it, but it was still just not.
Well, and
enough.
it's because all the guys were telling their bro buddies not to go see it.
Not true, because there are a lot of really awesome dudes that love this movie. But yeah, let's talk about that. So, men's rights activists are like, this is a feminine agenda.
Pushes the feminist agenda.
Rabble, rabble.
On the so there's this blog called Return of Kings. One guy, Aaron Clary, is calling for men to boycott the new Mad Max movie, and he's quoted as saying, "Not only refuse to see the movie, but spread the word as to many men as possible. Because if men sheepishly attend and Fury Road is a blockbuster, then you, me, and all the other men and real women in the world will never be able to see a real action movie ever again that doesn't contain some damn political lecture about more about feminism, SJWing, and socialism." But socialism.
Here's the thing, is this movie contained none of those things, and that is why I liked it. It didn't
Again.
have an agenda. It was just a really good story.
Again, like we kind of talked about with Age of Ultron, it's all about what's playing on in your mind is how you see this movie.
Hollywood is a
Or
garbage
anything.
propaganda machine which spews
that's
out
true.
this feminist
Looks at that forever.
drivel filth into the minds of today's young audience.
Just so
Even
you
though
know-
science has told us and proven that men are physically stronger than women, it is nonetheless discarded by the forces driving this feminist nonsense.
So
That I
another
didn't see.
yes. So yeah, because the harem girls, because the women in this film weren't damselified,
And what does it matter-
must be feminist agenda. It must be the militant feminist agenda.
And what does it
because-
matter that men are physically stronger than women? At
Right.
no point
Because
in the
Charlize Theron.
She never does kick his ass, though. If you notice, even in their fight,
No.
Yeah.
But she's the one that, spoiler alert, kills the baddie.
Yeah. But it's good because it doesn't try to drive and say, like, I didn't feel like there was any point in which they tried to elevate her character over Max's character, or that they tried to elevate him over her. I
The
really
movie
didn't
was
feel that
The
way.
movie was definitely more about her, and Max was kind of along for the ride.
Sure, focus of the movie wise, but they didn't character wise. They didn't
No.
ever say at any point like she was better than him. Like
Nope.
she never saved him or whatever, but he never really like
Saved
her.
her.
They
kind of
he
helped
did
each other
really
out.
save her, though.
At
He
the end,
gave his blood to
well,
her.
That's
yeah,
true.
that's true.
But
That was-
that's a different type of saving than like the normal action
Physical
hero
strength.
movie. Yes.
Well, and then you had the what do you call the soldier boy that
Yeah,
wanted to
the
get into
war
Vol-
boy.
Yeah, and he was
Nuts.
kind of saved by what I felt was just the feminine presence. It wasn't,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It was the softer side. He
Yeah.
was like, I want to serve. And then she kind of showed him like a softer side and was like,
Yeah.
you know, you don't have to
Yeah.
be this. And I never felt like it was a love story between the two of them. You know what I
Right.
mean?
No,
I
like
think it was kind of redemption for
I really
him.
liked his character arc.
I did
oh my
too.
god,
I
he was
loved
so
him.
good.
Was,
I love Nicholas Holt though
yeah.
so much.
So good. People, it's gonna blow your mind when you remember that guy that played Nux, that war boy that was on their side, was fucking Beast in the new goddamn
he was-
X-Men movies.
And he was Tony Stoneham in Skins.
And he also sells Jaguars.
Thanks, IMDb.
So let's just get right into a little bit of Mad Max talk because I know Lucas, you have some facts for us.
I do. I have some
and-
IMDb facts.
Yeah,
some
I know.
IMDb
Can you give us
facts.
some trivia? Well,
Podcast.
I'm the
That's
only
our
one
theme.
that's
It is. I
seen
like it.
all three of. Well, have you seen all three movies, Danielle?
It's been a very, very, very long time. I don't think I saw the first one. I saw the last two.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Road Warrior.
I saw
and then you've
Thunderdome
got
the most.
Thunderdome. You got
Which
some
is-
Tina Turner in there.
Yeah.
Seriously, on the way to see it, I was blasting. We don't need another hero. That's the Mad Max song.
That's awesome.
Thunderdome. I love it. She even sings it in the movie, doesn't she?
Yeah.
She does. So
Back
good, you guys.
the 80s, back when you got your power ballads right with your fucking movies.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
Was
That
there a
was
montage?
85, right?
I think so.
It's
I
been
know
30
it was.
years.
Oh, buddy.
I was one.
Yeah, it was.
Dorbs.
Depending, I was possibly born. Right.
Do you?
I'm not sure when it came out.
When were you born?
The beginning of 85. So depending on when the movie came
Yeah.
out.
Was
So
it
it
a
could've
summer
been-
blockbuster or was it a
He could have
Thanksgiving?
been a couple weeks. He could have been a couple months, or he could have been a fetus.
She got it.
only time will tell.
Okay.
Speaking of fetuses,
What are your
let's talk
facts?
about Mad Max.
What are your facts?
Let's hear some facts.
So
That was horrible,
I think
by the way.
the feminist tint, or at least the stronger female characters, might have a lot to do with. I'm going to butcher this name, Eve Ensler, of the Vagina monologues, because they handed her the script before they shot and said, "Can you touch this up to make sure everything is gravy?"
Yeah, and, like just make sure we're representing females. Or-
Which is
Yeah,
pretty cool.
in a-
yeah,
appropriate
yeah, that
way,
is cool. Yeah.
Especially for, you figured this George Miller as a creator of the original Mad Max movies. I wouldn't say they were like against women, but they were very male empowered.
Absolutely, because he's a white male. I can't remember who said it, but they're like, stop yelling at me and blaming me for producing how I see the world. I see it from a white male perspective. I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to leave out women. I mean, you look at the movies that I've been raised on and the books that I've been raised on. I'm just spitting out what
Yeah.
I've been given.
Which is, I
and
mean,
so that he gave the script to another,
Yeah, I
it
want you to
was
throw
like,
your
hey,
twist on it.
Throw your
that
twist, let
is
me
really
know.
great, and that's such
very
a
aware.
exactly. I was going to say that's such a show of how society has changed since then, because there was the mentality of well, how can you blame me for seeing the world that I see? You know, I rather than acknowledging their own privilege or whatever, just saying like, this is, you know, all I've got for you because I can only give you how I see it. To then, you know, 30 years later be like, hey, I acknowledge that there's room for more than just my point of view here. I want to show the world a story that's not just from my point of view. I want to be inclusive. That is a change in mentality, and that is progress, you guys. That is what we are working for. So
Well,
I
and
mean,
it's
it is
just-
progress. It does happen.
And the more people you have collaborate on projects, I think you get a better product. I mean, we went and saw a horrible movie. It's called The Room. God, it's awful. It's awful. And this guy, he's directed it, produced. Lisa, you're tearing me apart. It's awful. Oh my God. But yeah, that's such a difference. When you have other people's input on your project, it can turn out so much better.
Yeah.
And
That's
I
awesome.
think, yeah.
Yeah, I really liked the movie quite a bit, and part of the reason I was excited to see it, as growing up, I was definitely a car junkie, something my dad was into. So getting to see all of these mutations of old classic cars, like this
so
59
beautiful.
Cadillac on top of a 59 Cadillac, was amazing.
My
Yeah.
cousin told me that like about 80% of the effects in it were practical.
That checks out.
Yes. Awesome. And then also pretty much all of the cars were drivable.
Yeah,
Yes,
the only
and stuff.
things that they used CGI for, from what I understand, was the landscapes and then the stunt rigs, the safety,
Yeah.
wires and everything, and then Charlize Theron's arm.
Yes. Yes.
So
And-
how
what
do you-
about the what
and then
about
the
Flea?
tornado, of course.
What about Flea though?
Yeah, Flea.
The
soundtrack guy.
He was really on there.
He was this
You
fucking
should.
badass.
Lee's wife posted a behind-the-scenes video that's like 20 minutes long, and it shows a bunch of that stuff, including Tom Hardy on the front of that car.
That's
they're falling
awesome.
It
into
was
the
like
desert.
Cirque du Fury.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Oh my God, the pole cats, like that was so awesome.
That
like
was
having
so
those
neat. Like the
Yeah.
poles that were coming. Yeah.
I just like
was
that
great.
everything exploded when they
Yes.
they-
Like
yeah, they
grenades on the
loved it.
edge of spears. Yeah.
Well, that's, I mean, Mad Max, way I so geek out and love Mad Max is because I geek out on the making of stuff, right? And so, like, the
Right.
original Mad Max budget was $35,000. The first, that's
Nothing.
Nothing.
Wasn't the Blair Witch Project made on less of a budget?
Well,
Yeah, but that's different.
Right,
Yeah,
but
I mean,
still,
it's-
that was kind of known for being like a no-budget movie, and this is even more no-budget.
yeah, and what I love too is I watch like the director's commentary and going through the movie. He's like, "Oh yeah, we stole that. We stole like all of his props were stolen or borrowed." Kawasaki actually donated all the motorcycles for Mad
Aw.
Max, and they had a month to learn how to ride them
Yeah, like, oh, by the way,
you gotta
your
learn
character
how to
has a motorcycle now.
and jump. You gotta jump shit.
On the budget for this film was they haven't figured exactly, but it's between 100 and 150 million. And if you add those first movies together, this is still, with inflation, like 300 times more than what they spent on any of those first movies.
Yeah, so yeah, they went from $350,000 for this movie, the first movie, second movie, Road Warrior, $4 million budget.
Wow.
So they were like,
Nothing.
yeah, they were like, oh my
Still a
gosh,
lot,
what do we
but-
do? Yeah, but
Which is-
nothing, but still from 350, he felt like he was really.
When
I
you're
mean,
just welding cars together and blowing them up,
Yeah.
you need a whole lot of money.
no, they're like, we got to use that one
Well,
again.
Brian was telling me this, so I guess you can fact check Brian. I don't know how much fact there is in this, but when they were making this movie,
We fact check Brian Young
Please do.
constantly. That's like all we do is we spend our time fact checking Brian Young.
Well, I just don't. If he's wrong,
Just kidding.
it's him. It's not me. He was saying that they were sending in the test shots to the studio, and the studio came back to Miller and said, do you want more money? Because if you want more money, we'll give you more money.
That's awesome.
And he built a car catapult with the extra budget that they gave him.
oh my God. Yeah, that's what
It's just a fun,
it is a
high
fun
octane movie.
and weird, and the freaks, right?
Yeah.
All of the movies, you got the freaks in all of the movies, and I'm like, I think Danielle said it's very Australian,
It was very Australian.
so it's just weird. The freaks.
It's definitely
Yeah.
quirky.
Yeah.
So the budget
great.
for the Blair Witch Project was, I guess, 25,000. So,
Just
Which is
under.
like-
But
which
with
is still
inflation,
$10,000 cheaper. Yeah, with inflation, and you're talking about a movie where you run around in the forest with a camera, or where you weld together cars and blow them up.
Yeah,
So,
I think it was Chris Rock that made the joke that somebody's running around with 24 grand in their pocket.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, it was brilliant. And oh my God, those landscapes. Like
Yeah.
seeing
Yeah.
it in IMAX 3D, like you just felt like you were there. It was breathtaking. They're just the desert scenes when they get to that place where it's like rainy and like wet, like, you know, you can just feel it. Like whoever designed the landscapes and the world building in it is beautiful.
But George Miller, because he kind of fathered the post-apocalyptic movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so now there are all these dystopian shades of gray movies. You know, you think of like The Road. And he said for this film, he wanted it to be as bright and colorful as possible. Because even though it's the end of the world, you know, the desert's still a beautiful place.
It
Yeah,
is
and
awesome.
that's kind of what you get on all of the kind of the Mad Max films. Even though it is kind of the dystopian future type feel, you do get a really pretty landscape feel from all of them. I mean, I
love how highly ironic the films are, and that this gas crisis, and then, you know, the war that came from it, and then the way that they survive in this land without gasoline is these giant gas guzzling vehicles.
Right.
That in any way, like, how would you get around in these and justify it?
Yeah.
I love the
Yeah, we
hypocrisy of it.
left the movie, and I was like, how would my Hyundai do? Because I'm driving on the freeway, and it shakes. Like, if you go too fast, I'm like, probably not well.
I do. I love, like, movies are supposed to make you feel something, and you definitely, like, even just driving home from Mad Max, you definitely feel something.
Yeah, right?
Sure.
Your car, you're like, how would it hold up?
You just
I'm
want
like,
somebody to like
flooring it.
stand on the back of your car with an electric guitar and just be like, dun 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 dun.
That was one of our comedian friends, Shane Smith. He had posted on Facebook that he was like, as we're leaving Mad Max, my girlfriend tells me get in the car, and I told her, no, babe, I'm riding home on the hood. Everybody
great.
has that feeling after.
Yeah, and I love what you brought up too about the different energies, and I definitely feel like.
Well, because you had brought up, you're like, it's definitely a feminist, you know, strong, and I'm like, I
don't think it's that.
Yeah,
I don't think it's
like,
that.
It was like, I think they just represent it because it's a masculine movie. You've definitely got two different energies in the world. You've got masculine and feminine. You know, like. They're definitely, but I love how they combine. They definitely represent masculine energy, and I mean, with all of your gears and all, you know, the grunting and all the gas, fire,
But I don't.
and the heavy metal. But then you have the feminine energy. I mean,
Well, I think when you had Mad Max coming around the corner, the back of that semi, and seeing instead of a group of men, he was going to have to fight this group of women, you know, essentially bathing right there.
yeah, and their
It just
soft
changed the tone of the
flowing,
movie.
the soft flowing cloak, and then when they even met the other women too, and she had the bag of seeds, you know, like
The patriarch.
the patriarch. The
Well, it's
Mother
motherly
Earth.
rather than
Mother-
matriarchy. It's
Yeah, you're right.
matriarch. Yeah.
Is that the matriarch?
Yeah, but it is, and I don't even know if I would call it a masculine energy or a feminine energy, or I definitely don't feel like the movie is one way or the other for me personally.
It's
I
a
don't think
mixture
it's a
of both.
masculine movie. But when I see those two energies, I don't necessarily. I mean, it's just. They've been calling it male and female since time began, but even like in Sanskrit, those two words, the two words that they use to differentiate those two energies, don't always just refer to male and female.
No,
like
you've
it's-
got yin and yang.
Yes, or it's hot and cold, or it's, you know, rough and soft, or, you know, it's two different ways of being, but it doesn't necessarily have to do with physical bodies or
that's
genitals.
Well, because
or
you have
anything like
you
that.
had Charlize Theron's character who embodied both
Well, and I think
energies. You know, she was very masculine. I mean, she drove that rig like a boss. So that was
She
hers.
she made that rig.
But again,
Yeah,
it sort of
that was
bothers me
hers.
when we think that we have to equate strength with masculinity. Like, I don't think that energy is quote unquote male energy, and I don't think
It
that
is yin energy, though.
But
It is
yang energy.
Yang.
Is the But I mean, I'm just saying, like,
You
I don't.
yogis.
But all
It's
I'm
Eastern
all I'm
philosophy.
saying, my whole point is that I really liked the way that they separated the tribes into like the earth and like more of the industry. That is to me where where the delineation is it's this machinery versus this earthy kind of elemental energy, and I think that captured it for me in ways that I could kind of understand, where in a way that isn't as gender charged as saying male and female. Because when you look at it that way, it's easy to see that war boy starts to really get a feel for this more earthy, elemental energy.
Comforting.
Whereas there are definitely people who grew up in that elemental type energy that are now having to accept this more industrial way of life because what they had wasn't there anymore. And that was the only time in the movie that I actually cried for real, is when she like rage primal screams on the dunes when she like realizes that there's no green place. Spoiler alert.
There's no oasis.
Yeah, which is totally what I
Richard.
thought it was going to be. An
Really?
oasis or something.
Yeah.
Like a spring with
No,
like...
instead
something
it's
gorgeous.
weird guys on stilts.
Swamp.
And soil.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, I loved that you brought up the different energies, because it is such a... I think that's like the core of it is, and it is all of that. It's the idea of the gasoline wars, and that this could be, what if this was us kind
Who
of
killed the
thing.
earth.
Yeah, who
Right.
killed the earth. I keep wanting to,
Solve this mystery.
yeah, so I don't want to say I want a sequel, even though I'm sure they're going to make one. because
there's a plan for 2 sequels, and apparently Tom Hardy has signed on for both.
yeah,
He signed
so,
up for 3, actually.
3?
Because I
If
felt
they
like
do
that
3.
story
Yes.
got done being told, but there's definitely more story.
There
Well, I
is.
really like the idea of him just kind of being a tag along for someone else's story.
Like
Just being there. My favorite scene in the entire movie, I love the movie, but my favorite scene we didn't even see was where he disappears. And he goes and takes care of that, I think is a Pontiac with the treads,
yeah.
and comes back with the guns.
Yeah.
It's not his
Yeah.
story.
So
It doesn't
good.
matter. He just went and helped
Yeah,
move it
and he's
along.
like, just go without me if I'm not back.
Yeah, it
then.
doesn't
Are
matter.
you okay? That's not his blood.
yeah, and then it was just like yeah. But I do
Well-
love that they didn't damselify or objectify the women in the movie. There was
No.
neither of those things happening.
Yeah, the only person objectifying those women was the
character.
man who owned
Yeah,
them.
but the
Yep.
film didn't
yeah,
objectify
that was
them.
pretty cool.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
antagonist.
So this is what I think is like a perfect example of what we want to see movies in Hollywood becoming. Not necessarily pushing an agenda of one being better, but just having a really great story where nobody is subjugated or elevated.
And how you need to have both coexist
Yes.
harmoniously
Yes.
to have a good environment. Otherwise, we're going to be driving around in big cars looking for gas all the time.
Yeah, but notice how they didn't have to
Like,
look
yeah.
for gas. Like that
It was
Because
on
they
the
had
truck.
gasoline
Yeah.
in town.
On that one, but yeah, I can't wait to see it again. To catch, they kept talking about the different clans, like this is the Bullet Clan and this is the Gas, because I'd want to see a story about
Town,
this Gas Town. What is it? A
Yeah,
refinery?
let's go to Gas Town.
a lot
go
of
check out
explosions
Gas-
there, I'm
yeah.
sure, with sawdust.
So that means we all have to skip Wasteland Weekend this year because it's just going to be crazy, crazy
Yeah,
big.
so yeah, I've been wanting to do it's on my bucket list. Wasteland Weekend.
So what is Wasteland Weekend? I've never heard of it.
It's Barter Town. You get a tribe together.
Yep.
You guys all cosplay as your tribe.
Yep.
You decide on what you have to offer in Barter Town, whether it be you bring a bunch of water or you guys can offer food, and then you coexist with a bunch of other people.
It is
Wow.
Yeah.
Comic-Con for Mad Max. It's
Yeah.
post-apocalyptic con.
That sounds pretty cool.
And it's
Yeah.
in the middle of desert in California.
Even better.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not a some
3
park.
days.
It's right
No.
in the environment.
yeah. It's,
Yeah.
And you have
It-
to if you show up and you're not
Prepared.
prepared, you're not in
Oh, yeah,
your tribe uniform, they don't let you in.
Yeah, you have
cannot
to
get
stay
into
in
Barter Town.
costume, and all of the stuff you bring has to be in theme. So if you show up with like a bright blue tarp, they're going to tell you to take a hike.
Oh,
You
wow.
have to have like colors of stuff that
Beat
would
up
be
canvas or something.
Yeah, and you like have to build your little thing out of like. And it's you have what you bring. They don't have water there. The only thing they have are porta potties, right? They do have
And they
porta
do
potties.
have first aid available.
And first aid.
Because some tribes
No, you
come
should have to pee in
unprepared.
the dirt and bury it.
But you do. You bring your own water. You bring a generator, or you don't have electricity. It's,
Wow.
Yeah, it's
And
like
I like the
That
desert
sounds like
crap,
a-
so I'm ready.
I don't know that I would want to do that, but to be a fly on the wall for that would be very interesting.
oh
So-
man, there's so many videos of it on YouTube. You should check them out.
What's it called again? I'm sorry.
Wasteland Weekend.
I'm gonna have to write this down.
So, final ratings for Mad Max.
Out of
5.
5.
I want to say 5. I want to go back and see it again now.
You know, I'm
right this
actually,
second.
I'm actually really surprised that you did give it 5 out of 5 because when we left the theater, you
No,
were
it
just
was her.
like, I know, but
Charity.
you
Oh.
said it. I thought you said 5 out of 5.
No,
first.
I
Charity
did.
said 5.
Charity
okay.
said 5 out of 5.
Then everybody's voice sounds the same.
It does.
Except for me and Lucas.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
I said except for me and Lucas. It's fine.
I didn't have any problems with it. There was not a point at which I was not engaged in the story. There was no part where I got bored. In fact, I was like exhausted kind of afterwards
Oh,
because
totally.
it is like constantly an action movie. You think that you're going to get a break and then you're like, nope. Dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
I love that suspense though, and the fact that Miller wanted this to be one long car chase helped. Just like I don't know if you guys saw It Follows. Like the idea behind the film causes suspense. Like a car chase where they're behind you the whole way. It's suspenseful.
Yeah.
And you can see them. It's
Oh, yeah.
not like you
Just
get little
open horizons.
breaks. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not like you get little breaks where like they get to go to the gas station and buy coffee and then they have like
Yeah.
an interaction and then
They
oh
get to go
shit,
take a nap.
here they are again
So-
and now the suspense is back. Like
Right.
you can literally see them behind them the whole time.
So Lucas, what
Yeah.
would you give it?
I would definitely give it a 5 for all the reasons we've discussed. I like that it was as suspenseful as it was, and in some ways there was very little dialogue. I like that the characters themselves, show don't tell kind of a scenario. I liked it a lot, and I think to Charity's point, the two characters being equal, I thought it was great that like in the end Max brought the idea to Shirley's
Furiosa.
Furiosa.
Yes.
That we should go back and take it back, but it's your decision. Like I'm on my way, but I'll help you if you want to do this. I
Yeah.
thought that was great that he brought it to her, but it was her decision.
Totally. He didn't save the day. He was just like,
I got your back.
if we're gonna do this, here's an idea. Why
Yeah.
don't we just go back and storm the fucking castle?
Crystal?
I liked it.
I'd actually give it 4 out of 5, just because, and I would actually say it's my third favorite out of the series.
Really? Then I am looking the fuck forward to the other
and
ones.
you have to understand though.
She has like the special
Nostalgia
glasses.
It's
nostalgia and everything.
I grew up watching them. I grew up wanting to be Mad Max. Another, I think it's great that you brought up that it was just the dialogue you didn't have to. George Miller, when the first Mad Max, his intention was to make a silent film with words. But he wanted people in Japan or China to watch this and not even have to have subtitles.
Sure.
So I love that he is still carrying. And the over dramatic music. Watch all the Mad
Oh
Maxes.
my god,
Yeah.
the music is so
Over,
good.
yeah. And it's just, and it keeps you
Chills.
Yeah, it's the silent film. It's
Right.
like we're going to depend on
Well,
the action and the music to carry
Yeah.
our audience.
And if I can interject just a little bit,
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for details, but I loved that the guy playing you called the flea on the
Yeah,
front
the
of it, and the
post-apocalyptic
drums.
flea.
I'm a sucker for details, so that the fact that those matched the soundtrack, that him playing the guitar was what you were hearing, that was awesome.
that his
Well-
fingers were, the chords were.
And that's
matching.
such a great homage to the idea behind the first movie. But it's also, if you look back, if you look at this in, let's say, Game of Thrones-y kind of, you have the different little villages or the different little kingdoms, and it doesn't go into tons of detail, but again, you're kind of able to extrapolate that this is a family thing, that these are some inbred weird sort of dystopian but
Right.
it's that they're brothers and the father and stuff and all that stuff, and you kind of go, okay, if you look at it in those terms, this guy is basically their bard. They did used to carry musicians into battle with them to pump up the troops and to foretell the enemy that they're on their way, get scared, get frightened. So it is
It's very true.
That's where the little drummer boy came from.
Little drummer flea. Danielle.
Pum. Oh God, run! They're coming.
So before Danielle, though, I want to know what's your 1 and 2 then? If this is 3.
It goes Road Warrior, Thunderdome, Fury Road, and then the original Mad Max. Just
really,
because
Thunderdome, because most people don't really care much for Thunderdome because it's like 80s
Silly.
cheese.
The first one,
shit, like I've got so many lines from Thunderdome, like 1 or 2 men enter, one man leaves. You got,
it had quite the cultural
you
impact.
got yeah.
Whether
it
or not
was
you
very-
loved it,
yeah, whether or not
Gotcha.
again, it's more nostalgic. Come on, like I said, I was jamming Tina Turner on my way.
Okay, Danielle, what would you give it?
I give it a 5 out of 5.
I give it 4 huhs out of 5 whats. What I like, I'll just say this really fast, and then we need to move on. But I really liked that it was like picking up a comic book in an already existing series that you don't quite like, so you don't quite know what's going on, but you're still able to keep up because that's how a lot of comic books are. That's what I really liked. Like, even from the first scene, I was like, wow, this is just like picking up a comic book and not even knowing what the fuck is happening, but still being able to go along for the ride. So
it definitely can stand by itself. I think any of the Mad Max you can watch and it stands by itself, and that's what I like. And they just are continuing the story.
Yeah, well, and
it's somebody else's story, but Mad Max just comes along and runs into
exactly.
it.
Well, then to what Lucas was saying, it's kind of like the old Hulk series, you know, just sort of traveling loner that sort of just becomes a part of these stories as he makes his way wherever he's going.
That would have made a much better after credit scene of him walking away on the side of the road with the Hulk music.
Oh, could we please
The
have our
Hulk
secret
infuriating.
song be the sad walking away music from the end credits of the Hulk movie, of the Hulk series?
cool. So good discussion, you guys.
Yeah.
Go team. TV.
Thanks for letting me be a part of it.
What's coming up next week?
I don't know. I didn't pull that stuff up.
Poltergeist.
I'm so excited for that.
Oh my god,
This is what I keep saying. I
That
just
guy's
keep
such a
saying
baller.
I don't want to see it, but I can't wait to hear you guys tell me how it is.
Okay, wait, you haven't seen Moon, huh? Remind me. I'm giving you Moon to watch.
Okay,
Are
sounds
you
good.
not much of a scary movie person?
No.
She's not at all a scary movie person.
That's okay.
Sorry,
Okay,
maybe.
but
Neither's Heather.
it's PG-13. Poltergeist is PG-13.
The original is PG-13.
The original is amazing.
Yeah, the
PG-13.
original is amazing.
But back
so-
then, too, you have
But
to
it's
admit,
still like the thing is that
80s
there is-
PG-13 is way different than
but
today's.
I would tend to
it
agree,
doesn't
yeah.
rely on nudity. It doesn't rely on language. It doesn't
Jump
rely
scares.
on anything. Like, it's jump scares. It's atmosphere. It's all of that.
insidious.
It didn't need to be rated R.
Yeah.
Like, ghost movies don't need to be rated R for them to be good.
That's true.
Well, it's a Spielberg movie. There's a lot of heart in it. Well,
That's
he didn't
true.
direct
There
it, but
is-
he produced
yes,
it. You can feel his
exactly.
presence.
So, like,
Sam Rockwell is so cool. Did you,
love him.
not to derail, but did you guys see the Way Back?
no, I need
I
you.
did
Jim
see the
Rash.
way back.
And
so
Sam Rockwell
good.
is like the best part of that entire movie. The movie's great, but it made me excited for anything with Sam Rockwell now being Poltergeist.
Yeah,
well, and
that's
see,
Have
I
you seen
think
Seven Psychopaths?
I was just gonna say for me it was
no,
Seven
wait, no, I
Psychopaths.
think I might have.
Okay, so if
Written
not,
it
let
down.
me know and I'll loan it to you.
I'm like, I've got it in my room. I'm going to
that
go in
too.
there for Moon, so
Because
I'm
yeah,
come
like
out with.
Seven Psychopaths was my favorite movie that came out that year. Like 2013, was that it? Yeah, that was like my favorite movie that came out that year. Like I've watched it so many
Is
times.
that the one with
talked
Christopher
about it.
Walken?
Yes.
I think I watched it, but it was like in the background or something. I
Gotcha.
need to watch it again.
Yes, and like Colin Farrell. No, yeah, Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was at Firth, and I got confused.
Sam
I
Rockwell's
just have such a
character.
thing for Colin Firth that it's just bleeding over.
Yeah,
I'm a sucker for Sam Rockwell. He was
Sam
in the original
Rockwell's
Ninja
so
Turtles. He was the lead gang member of the kids.
Really?
Uncredited.
What a
Yeah, he's the one that takes the kid around, Danny, and gives him the cigarettes and
Oh,
introduces him to
really?
everything. It's Sam Rockwell.
Do you want
you
some
seen-
cigarettes? Yeah, regular or menthol.
Sam Rockwell.
Have you
That's
seen
amazing.
Confessions of a Dangerous Mind?
No.
Okay, I'm going to loan that one to you too.
Thanks,
All right, I'm writing
IMDb.
I'm excited for all these things.
Movie Sam
That's
Rockwell
my
is in.
next podcast. Okay, guys, like chill out. It's fine.
So, TV brought to us by our good friends at
Mask Costumes, 718 East, 3900 South. They've got your No, they don't have your games.
They don't have games.
They have your makeup, costume, pieces, accessories, rentals, everything that you need for your
many upcoming conventions that are
Yes.
so very quickly
yes.
approaching.
If you are traveling,
Quite a few.
out of state for conventions, like
Denver
they can help
Comic
you
Con.
out. Phoenix Comic Con.
Yep.
You know.
Rose City Comic Con.
You know.
The ones
Everywhere.
that are also
Everywhere
coming up.
Comic Con.
Everywhere Comic Con.
So, and then also Steamfest is coming up, so that's pretty exciting.
Yep, and
Get
we
your
are going
gears
to be
from
there.
there.
Get your gears.
It's masks, costumes, mask, costumes,
Costumes.
not masks. There's not multiple. There's only one mask.
Yes,
One mask.
just a
Costumes.
singular
Costumes.
mask.
And you can
Dot
rent
com.
it.
And you can rent it.
They just have one
Singular mask.
costume.
So get on it now.
So,
TD, Rebecca.
Hi.
Take it.
Agent Carter was renewed for a second season. Yay.
Like we did that one last week.
Yeah.
I know. I'm going to get to this.
Oh, you're going to get to the news part.
Jesus.
Like we're
Here's
Oh.
a synopsis for it.
Oh.
Dedicated to the fight against the new atomic age threats in the wake of World War II, Peggy must now journey from New York City to Los Angeles for her most dangerous assignment. Yeah, Hollywood. But no, it doesn't say that. But even as she discovers new friends, friends, a new home, and perhaps even a new love, she's about to find out that bright lights of the post-war Hollywood mask a more sinister threat to everyone she is sworn to protect. And, are you doing more? Yeah, more coffee in my life.
I spilled half of my coffee on J.M. Bell's floor.
Good.
Anyways,
He gave me a really nice mug.
I can't. I'm still listening to the synopsis over the sounds of Michelle Branch playing in the background. Keep going.
That's not Michelle Branch.
That's Vanessa Carlton.
Oh yeah, sorry. My late '90s, early 2000s pop singers of the C-list.
Michelle
tier.
Branch had the guitar. Vanessa Carlton
Has
had
the piano.
Yeah. Michelle Branch is "'Cause You're Everywhere."
Nope.
No, it's
nope.
That's Vanessa Carlton too.
No, it is, but just stop.
Okay.
Anyway, pretty excited for the
So
second
she's in
season.
L.A.
She's in L.A.
Looking for love.
In all the wrong places?
No, she's not looking for love. She's Peggy goddamn Carter. She doesn't look for love. Love just happens.
Do you think that Howard Stark will be involved? Because that's like Iron Man takes place in Miami. Or not Miami. It takes place in L.A. or Miami. I forget.
Miami.
Is it Miami?
No, it's not Miami. It's what's that?
Bienvenido a Miami.
No, what's that other town in California that I keep
San
thinking
Francisco,
is
San Diego.
that I keep thinking is in Florida?
Compton.
We could just say California. Is it? Iron Man's in
Baja?
California, isn't it?
Iron Man. Yeah, Iron Man's in California.
So Howard Stark, his dad, maybe will be involved with the second season.
Maybe. Who knows?
Straight out of Compton.
No, stop.
Speculation.
Many speculations, but I like it too because there's a huge push for diversity in the second season.
Good.
So, yay.
So instead of like all these brunettes, they're gonna have some blondes now because it's in
And
California.
black people.
And brown people and not white people.
In sad Simpsons news,
Yeah, this is
Harry,
really sad.
Harry Shearer is no longer part of the Simpsons voice cast.
This isn't 100% yet.
I'm pretty sure it's like 100%
the
by
Simpsons
now.
Execs are still saying that, like, no, we're still doing negotiations.
Really? Because
Uh-huh.
I always feel like this stuff is just like them flexing their muscles for the contract negotiation.
It is. This
For
is
the
exactly
actor
what the
or
radio
Fox?
does.
For the actor. So what he's said is that Harry Shearer, who is the voice of like everyone on The Simpsons.
Hank Azaria is the everyone,
And Dan
then Harry
Castellaneta.
Shearer is like next. So it's like
No, Dan Castellaneta is like top dog though.
Okay, so Dan Castellaneta is like 40%.
But anyways,
Hank
to
Azaria
name
is
some
20.
characters,
Or
he's the voice of Ned Flanders and Mr. Burns.
and
Smithers.
Skinner.
Smithers, Skinner.
No, he's not Smithers.
Yes, he is.
He is
Smithers?
Smithers, yeah. He is also the voice of the news. Kent
Brockman,
Brockman.
Dr. Hibbert, Scratchy, and
Bunch
Lenny.
of those.
Yeah,
So
so
he's all the
He's
things
also
that drive the plot forward.
Wolf Castle.
yes.
Oh,
So he's said that he's not going to continue, and what his tweet said is that he was wanting what, quote unquote, what they've always wanted, which is the opportunity to do other work outside of The Simpsons. That's what he's saying the issue was.
That's really weird because
Apparently-
Hank Azaria does a ton of other work.
apparently Harry Shearer is kind of an asshole and he's
Really?
kind of a crazy person, and so they try to keep him reined in because they don't want him to do something that's going to embarrass the show.
I see.
So
I see.
that's what I heard.
Well, it's tough when you've had a show running this. Well, when you have a
26
career.
seasons.
Well, if you work somewhere for 26 years, it's going to be hard to keep everybody happy that entire time.
It's true, but Harry Shearer has also done like other things, like he's guested on stuff.
Yeah. I do agree with you, though, that I think this is probably some kind of stunt to help leverage his negotiations. But they have said, I mean, I've seen things where Fox has said that they're going to recast those
So they're
characters.
probably, like it's a threat. Like it's.
Do you think they should? I mean, my opinion is that
I say Viking funerals. The
yeah,
Simpsons.
just
end
get
it.
rid of it, right?
Send it out to the pasture.
Because here's
to
the
live
thing.
with the old dogs.
They've already lost Miss Krabappel,
Right? She passed away, right?
And now, if they're losing Henry Shearer, they're not gonna survive another loss. Even if they could recast it and it, isn't as good, but it limps along for another season or two, the next contract negotiation or the next death in the cast, it's going to continue to reduce the quality down and down and down. And it's been, honestly, I'm one of those people that I actually feel like The Simpsons has been strong for a while. I know a lot of people say that they don't like how it is now, but
I've heard that from a few people actually that have told me I should go back to it now because it's as good now as it's ever been.
It really is, and I really think that the writing is good. The episodes are engaging for the most part. I enjoy it, but I also recognize that it's not going to continue to go this way.
Right,
Like,
go out on top.
Yeah, I mean, these people have been voice acting these characters for the better part of 30 years.
It's a long time to be involved with anything, let alone a television show.
Yeah, I think at this point we go, okay, so we're at the point where we can no longer keep our shit together. Let's write a really beautiful, really compelling series finale and call it good.
So
It's better to, is it better to burn out or fade away kind of thing?
So stay tuned for future Simpsons Z updates. Honestly, like finding a replacement voice actor is not going to be hard.
No.
But they can definitely do it. I think it's more what it'll show from what the studio wants, and then if they start turning away the alumni of the show, you know, all these people that help make it what it is.
Yeah.
Really the heart and soul of the show.
I just want to take a minute to talk about the Supergirl trailer.
Making my way downtown.
No, stop.
What it was.
To quote Pitch Perfect, what is this white girl shit?
Right? I mean, so I actually
No, I was quoting I was making fun of your song.
Yeah. No, it's okay.
Wait.
I rewatched the SNL.
I have opinions about this.
Okay, tell me.
Everyone is comparing it to that Black Widow rom-com
I
parody
watched it
trailer.
literally right before, and the format follows it precisely.
But here's the thing. Here's my opinion about this. Everyone is referencing that Black Widow parody trailer. There's not anything that is very similar to this Supergirl idea. Like, yeah, there's a lot of movies and shows about a girl trying to make it on her own in the big city. How many of them are superheroes? None of them.
But do you think if this was a Superboy TV show, they would have used a Taylor Swift song in the promo for it?
Well, no, but it's but it's not that. Like it's playing on that old idea of a girl trying to make it on her own in the city, but also, by the way, she's a superhero. That's a cool twist, in my opinion, on something that's been done before.
I just really wish that she had thrown her hat in the air.
Yep, it's so Mary Tyler Moore. It's more Lois and Clark than Man of Steel.
It's very saccharine, but do you know what? I'm still kind of... I don't like the supers. Like Superman,
yeah, I didn't like that she's like, they kept referencing her cousin. Like, that was
they really,
painful.
really want you to know.
They hammered it home, which is going to be really prevalent in the pilot episode.
Because they really want you to know that, like, she's not just made up. Like, she's actually, like, a real thing.
I still want to see the show.
I hope
really
Crypto
do.
shows up at some point.
Oh my God, me too. I actually hope Superboy shows up. But I think that he's going to because they're doing the live action Teen Titans and Superboy's in the Teen Titans comic story arc a lot. So
yeah, but this is also CBS.
True.
And not like tied in with anything like on the CW
So
like it should be.
this is outside of continuity.
But
This is
Stephen
Outside
Amell,
of WB continuity.
Yes.
Stephen
Like Arrow
Amell
and all
has
that.
said that there is a possibility that
That
they
they
could
will
have
cross
crossovers.
No,
Well,
remember
they-
Stephen Amell said everybody can come to the Arrow.
Yeah, that's
Everybody
true.
in the DC world.
Spider-Man.
He's
Bring
like,
fucking Spider-Man
Hey,
over.
Spider-Man, what you doing? You
Wolverine.
Wolverine,
the Arrow, then.
snicked motherfucker. I'm
You don't
here.
watch Arrow?
Me neither.
I give all of that.
I'm the only one.
I
And
have
Flash?
watched
You watch
Arrow,
Flash?
but I'm
I'm actually interested in Flash. A guy I worked with, JJ Harrison, what won me over is he said, it is Sam Raimi superhero fun.
It is.
So then I was like, okay, I should give this a try when the season's over.
So good. We're having season finales for The Flash and Arrow this week, too.
I think it looks good, honestly. I liked the parts of it that were a superhero TV show.
How about-
I didn't like the parts of it that looked like New Girl. That's
How
all.
about that? One, New Girl is so different from anything else, though.
It's
Two,
true.
Well, I just
how about that James Olsen? Am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
They don't call me Jimmy anymore.
I'm sorry, James. My. Anyway, that's all I'm going to talk about in my TV stuff. Oh my God, fucking rumors.
Rumors.
Fucking rumors.
I fucking hate this Asa Butterfield kid so much.
Why?
He looks so dumb. And the
He
fact that he was Ender for
Guns
whatever
firing.
reason just makes
He
me
looks
so
like Eddie
mad.
Munster. Don't call Eddie Munster dumb.
He he's
the rumored
awfully-
Spider-Man.
He's awfully young to
That's
be
what they
rumored to
want.
play Spider-Man.
That's
That's
what
why
they
it is.
want.
I'm really excited for. I haven't seen anything he's in. I should, but I'm
Ender's
pretty excited
Game
for him
and-
being this tiny little individual with Tony Stark and the Hulk.
Yes.
Mark Ruffalo and
It'll be a nice contrast to all these old white dudes with a young white dude.
yeah. Very true.
God forbid they get a Kamala Khan or anything.
Tiny white dudes.
Tiny white dudes who run the world. Tiny white dudes.
So I realize
that's
that he's
directed
not.
at
I realize he's not Hugo anymore, or in the that age anymore. But it still seems like
Hugo.
Yeah, he still seems like a 10-year-old to me. So I'm just like,
He's got the Selena Gomez effect, where he's just gonna look 12 forever.
I'm just looking at our
Gonna put out sexy pictures and we're all gonna be like, child porn, oh my god.
our progressive spider people are going down in age really surprisingly fast. Next it's going to be Spider Toddler, and then the next Spider-Man movie, the origin
Spider Dumpster
story
Baby.
will start. Jesus Christ. We'll start with an ultrasound or something. I think your belly has been bitten by a radioactive spider.
Spider embryo does whatever a spider embryo does.
Just
And-
mostly
and
hangs
splits.
around all day.
All that does is make me think of when you squish a mama spider and all the baby spiders go,
Nope.
I'm out.
That's a totally different movie.
Oh, those baby spiders.
But also in
Spider
Marvel
baby.
news rumors, Marvel's looking at the Selma director Ava DuVernay to direct either Black Panther or Captain Marvel, and I think they're leaning more towards Black Panther.
Which would be awesome.
That would make sense since
Yeah.
that's the one coming up pretty soon.
Yep.
She would be amazing because Selma was really well done.
Yeah.
And fucking female black director. Yes, want it. More lady directors, more black people directors, more other people color directors.
It's the
Just diversity for everything, please.
it's that
Now
same
we
thing
need some
going back.
non-gendered people.
Every article I read sets the Captain Marvel movie date back
Back
a year.
more,
I
yeah.
read one that was 2017, and then I read one that was 2018, and now this one says 2019. I don't know what's real anymore.
They don't have a set date.
I feel like I'm never gonna get
It's
my
like-
Captain Marvel movie.
It's like Wonder Woman.
and I'm really sad about it.
Just keep putting
Spider-Man
It's
bumps you
just
from Marvel.
longer for you to campaign.
And is it because I gained
That's
weight
true.
and that's why they're putting it off? They're like, Rebecca, Jesus, get it together.
We're kind of second guessing that thing you and burritos.
We're
thing.
putting all of our eggs in your basket, and you're really using those eggs.
That's amazing.
You're a beautiful snowflake, and I love you.
No thanks.
It goes back to that whole idea Crystal was talking about that the more different directors we get and filmmakers we get, the more perspective we get. So it
Be
is
more inclusive.
Yeah, so it's we want to get the perspective of as many people as possible. We've overwhelmingly seen one demographic's perspective for a really long time, so it is really nice to have that diversity.
Well, one of the reasons I go or I like to watch different films or documentaries is to get to gain empathy, and the only way I can do that is seeing things that I am not involved in or things that I don't see in my daily life.
Yeah.
So having other people involved to tell these stories that I don't see is awesome.
Yeah, the best thing that we can do, I think, as artists is create a lens for other people to see the world through.
So
Okay.
thanks for listening. So thanks for listening to Hello Sweetie Podcast, where we talk about geek themes.
Video games.
Video games.
Video games.
Brought to you by.
Nobody.
Any
Unless you
shows?
have something, Rebecca.
I have a show
No.
this week.
Crystal's got a show. Crystal, it's brought to you by Rebecca. No, not Rebecca. Crystal. Rebecca, it's
Hey.
brought to you by Rebecca. Who's
Hey.
gonna bring it to Crystal.
Crystal's got a show this week. Tell us about your show, Crystal.
Okay, shall I?
Yeah.
It's on Thursday, so tomorrow, guys. It just came out. It is comedy and other opinions. Jason Harvey is the host. Andy Gold is going to be there.
He's
Myself, he is
Local famous.
He's kind of a pretty big deal. He's hilarious. We're going to be because Five Monkeys used to host this comedy and other opinions.
And then Five Monkeys just vanished.
Overnight, basically.
Yeah, them closed down. Five Monkeys is closed down. So we're having it in Ken's garage.
Nice.
Everybody's
Not sketchy at all.
it's not sketchy. He has
He
a
has
stage.
a really nice garage.
It actually is a pretty decent garage. It's probably going to be better than Club DJs.
I got lost. I didn't
Don't
know
even
where
get me
Club
started on
DJs
that.
was.
Like,
okay.
that
It's
was
okay.
that was a jungle jungle gyms that I used to have parties at when I was a kid.
It was like Peter Piper Pizza or something. Jungle, yeah, it
Yeah.
used to be. It's god.
Oh man,
that was an
Peter
interesting.
Piper Pizza. That's whoa,
Bringing it back.
bringing it back.
Anyway,
But
check
yeah.
that out on Thursday.
Yep, I'll post some stuff on the Facebook pages. You can bring your own 6-pack, and it's free.
That's true.
Nice.
It's in a garage. I don't think he needs to have a liquor license.
Listeners
no,
are
because-
like,
no,
oh, I'll
because
actually
it's
go to
just-
this one.
Yeah.
No, because like it's BYOB, so
Yeah.
there's no need for a liquor license because
Nope.
there's no exchanging of money.
Nope.
And don't you dare.
You are welcome to come. And Comedy and Other Opinions is a really fun show because you get to get up and do your little bit, and then
And find out about other opinions.
yep, and then Jason Harvey asks you questions.
Shut up! I want to be to this. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to be to this. Okay, so Blizzard has dropped like a massive ban hammer on over 100,000 World of Warcraft accounts to stop cheating.
Oh, that's why I
Yes.
couldn't log in this week.
You're a cheater.
Cheater, pumpkin eater.
No, because I forgot my WoW password.
Oh, but so Blizzard has had it with the WoW cheaters, and they finally done something about a bot that has been ruining the game for rule sticklers everywhere. So they banned like a fuck ton of accounts.
I love when that happens.
In this case, the method of cheating they targeted was accounts that use bot software to automate play, so a user doesn't have to actually go through all the level grinding and resource gathering to improve their character. So no, like doing like the blacksmithing and shit, like with your bot. So anyways, also known as playing the game. So they want you to play the game and not be a dick and have a robot do it for you. Blizzard would prefer that people do really play to reap the benefits of their hard work and made this announcement yesterday on the WoW forums. We've recently taken action against a large number of WoW accounts that were found to be using third-party programs that automate gameplay known as bots. We're committed to providing an equal and fair playing field for everyone in World of Warcraft and will continue to take action against those found in violation of our terms of use. Cheating of any form will not be tolerated. If you believe that you've encountered a player using a bot, exploit, or cheat, please let us know. You can do so using the right-click report functionality in the game and or by emailing help information to hacks@blizzard.com. So, yeah.
So they're just asking you to go around reporting.
Yeah, they want you to
people
be a
who
narc.
hack.
Wow, narcs.
And it will go nowhere.
Nope.
Just
Because-
goes into the
Nothing.
ether.
I'm sure that WoW will probably get sick of doing that because they're like, oh god, our numbers keep dropping, so maybe we should, like, our subscriber numbers keep dropping, so I guess we
Blizzard-
better let people do this.
Blizzard doesn't give a fuck. They have never, because they just
That's true.
there are very few companies that can do this, and Blizzard is one that can say the game will come out when it is ready, and we'll let you know when it comes out. And that's where they've got that. They've got StarCraft.
That's true, fucking
Heroes of the
StarCraft.
Storm.
Lucas, you're all about that StarCraft. It's all I ever hear you talk
I'm a
about.
StarCraft guy. Well, she brought up Blizzard. I just was joining the conversation.
Just naturally evolved.
and I appreciate
so.
it because it's really hard sometimes to get these other three to join in on my conversation.
The gaming. Let's talk
Because
gaming.
we're such dicks.
Okay, we'll talk gaming.
No, because we're not gamers.
I know, it's fine.
I'm trying to think.
I'm half
if you-
gamer.
If
She's
you,
getting there.
you bring up Tetris, I'm there.
Did you guys play the new Mario Kart stuff yet? They got new levels. It's pretty awesome. They've got 2 new pre's, so what is that? 8 more tracks, 3 more characters. And the craziest thing that they released, which was completely free and has never been done before, is 200cc. And if you've played Mario Kart at all, yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
It is ridiculous. You finish a race in less than a minute, and it is just in
What?
complete chaos.
Ugh.
What other video game stuff
That's
would you like to
it
talk
today. That's it. We can just talk about it later.
We got Carmen Burks, right?
We got Kermit Burks.
Yeah, and Lucas
Right.
came prepared.
He
Right.
did. I'm really excited for this
I know.
because like the comics that he brought look really fucking good, and I'm gonna need to get.
But
those
this
on my
is brought to us by...
Dr. Volt's Comics.
2043 East and
3300 South.
They're open 7 days a week. They got a free hold service, and if you got a hold and you spend $20 more, you're gonna save 10%.
And why wouldn't you? Because it's free. And because they have your tasty, tasty comics.
And everyone,
Don't
shut
eat
the
comics.
door. They got Fanta now.
What?
So, yeah.
Whoa.
Better than Fago.
want a Fanta?
Yeah. Everything's
But
better than Fago.
Isn't Fanta the Nazi drink?
It is. That's why I love it.
Because Rebecca Frost is Aryan as fuck.
She's a non.
That's she's
not-
I'm,
Nazi blood.
I'm
sympathizer.
AAF. So, Lady Thor. We know who she is now. Drum roll, please. It's Jane Foster.
Fuck off. That's really cool.
Surprise.
I mean, like, I guess I'm not okay with it because I didn't like Natalie Portman in the movies.
Do you know what?
I don't think they
Natalie
would cast
Portman
her.
doesn't play her in the comics.
I know.
Yeah, but do you think they're doing this as a move for recast later? Or not recast, but, when Chris Hemsworth steps down, then she can take over?
No, because she won't. Because she hated her time working
Oh, really?
on Thor. Yeah. At least that was my understanding, was that she hated her time working on Thor. But so in the comic books, Jane Foster is actually battling breast cancer as a mortal. And so every time that she picks up the hammer and turns immortal and turns into Lady Thor, it makes her mortal self weakens even more.
Oh no!
So it's kind of like one of those Catch-22 kind of things.
And I'd read that when you sent over the itinerary earlier, and that made me very interested in reading the book. That was the first thing thus far. I mean, Lady Thor sounded like an all right concept, but I kept hearing it was who was actually Lady Thor, and they were stringing that along. This sounds much more interesting.
It's just Thor, people.
Or, I'm sorry. Thor, that is a woman.
Well, yeah, because that was the whole thing, right? I mean, that anyone who wields Mjolnir takes on the mantle of Thor, right?
Yeah.
So Jane is, for all intents and purposes, the Marvel Thor at the moment.
Yeah. So, and Lucas...
Any end in sight to that?
Never. Well, yeah, Secret Wars.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, because there's a whole group of Thors in Secret Wars. I don't know if you guys are reading that.
I know. Was it you that explained that to me?
No,
Somebody
'cause
explained to me
I don't explain
all the
anything in that book,
Thors.
'cause I don't fucking get it.
Yeah.
It's really confusing.
No, I asked... I wish I remembered who it was, but I asked somebody to... it was Aaron. I asked him to explain to me what the fuck the Secret Wars were. And he explained to me that there's a group of Thors that are the police of the Secret or something.
Yeah. It's really weird. And
Aaron,
Doom
I'm
made
sorry.
all
You're
of
probably
these different
throwing
hammers.
things at your wall right now.
It's been interesting, but as someone that hasn't, I came into it from the Ultimate side and wanted to understand the end of that universe. And so there's I guess the Avengers are tied into this, and this Illuminati and things that I haven't read.
The Illuminati?
So I have no idea what the hell's going on.
Everyone. But Lucas brought a comic book.
I brought a couple things to talk about.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I brought this book called Giant Days. It's by Boom Studios. And you might know
Studios
Boom
is great.
from Adventure Time and some of the other great
Lumberjanes.
stuff. Clarence, which my friend JJ Harrison's actually illustrating. So
Oh,
check
nice.
that out.
Exciting.
Totally exciting, and they're a great publisher. So this book, I'm terrible about synopsis, so you'll have to
You can't
forgive
be
me.
any worse than Rebecca.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm better than Rebecca, but it's pretty straightforward. You're all welcome to look through them. It's these
It's
three gals in college,
super cute.
and it's kind of just what's going on in their lives. The one girl, you get the impression that she's trying to find herself, and she runs into her old boyfriend, and so she's kind of got that thing going on. Whereas this girl, the young innocent one, is kind of discovering herself. And like I said, I'm doing a terrible job, but it's just kind of an interesting slice of life story with these three
So it's kind of
gals
like a
in
coming of
college
age story, but in college.
for these young women.
Yeah.
And
Is
they're all
it-
coming from different perspectives, and this girl's like a goth girl, and
She's my hero.
So-
look at her bat sweater. I want it.
it might be better if you ask me questions since
Yeah.
I'm doing a bad job.
No, you're
Do
not.
they
But-
have
you're
powers?
They have no superpowers. This is just a
Like it's like
regular
seriously
old
like a
group
coming of
people.
age.
I've noticed that the
Superheroes
covers.
can come of age.
I noticed that the covers
Not
each
in Boom
have.
Studios.
Oh my god, you guys! I noticed that the covers each have only one of the characters on them. Does that imply that each comic follows a different one of the girls, or do they all sort of?
They're
They're
fairly
all
equal.
in all of them.
Yeah, that's a good question. It's pretty equal who's represented in each comic. So in the story arc, it's really simple. It's these little things like this issue. This girl, I forget her name, the goth girl, had gotten really sick, and so her friends had gotten her this different medication, and she was kind of goofed up on the medication she took and went to this party and had a good old time. But then these frat boys, had taken pictures of her and these other girls around the college, and they had this top 10 website of the hot girls on campus, and if you helped them do their rush, and whoever helped them raise the most money would get the phone numbers of these 10 girls. And so this issue, which ties, like I said, they all kind of bleed into each other, and there'll be 6, but this issue was her friends banding together to try to stop that and then seek revenge on these guys, and it's pretty funny. I've liked it quite a bit, and it's one that I was kind of holding off on to talk about on your podcast, actually.
That's awesome. Yeah,
So-
it looks really good.
I love the art. It's
I was
very
just
cartoony.
gonna say
Yeah,
the art
I
is
love
really
art.
good. It looks like those old. oh geez, I can't remember now. Like Ricky Tikki Tavi and like the Phantom Toll Booth. Who was the artist that drove those?
I don't know.
They took.
I'm IMDb. I'm not anything to do with books.
It's.
No
I'm not
Wikipedia on that.
BMDB.
I'm sure that. Well, no, I mean the cartoons, the old like.
It's got an old Disney feel, almost like some of those Pixar shorts you've been seeing.
Yeah,
Yes.
or even just like I can't even remember the name of the artist or the studios, but he took a stint, I think, animating for Warner Brothers. And
Oh,
you remember
really?
those like the Bugs Bunny kind of TV movies, like the history of the chase and
Sure,
ones like
sure.
that? Do you remember? I mean, that's kind of what it reminds me of.
Very similar, yeah, old school animation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
I really like Boom Studios. They put out a lot of like really heartfelt comics, and
they do pretty well. Like as far as I hear, they take good care of their fans as well as the people that do work for them. So I only hear the best about them. And then the other thing I'd brought that I geeked out about big time at the comic shop, and maybe Danielle will be super excited about this. Zelda! So this is The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. And why this is super cool is back when I was a kid, you had Nintendo Power. And in Nintendo Power, they had, when this game came out, 4 pages of this comic in each magazine for like a year or so. But it was never, from my understanding, republished. So this is a collection of this super old comic related to that game. And it's fun and nostalgia and gorgeous. Oh, watercolors.
Oh, I like that he just falls over.
Yeah.
Aw,
So I was pretty happy about that.
this is wonderful.
aw,
Chuck Jones. That's who it was, by the way. Sorry. It was
okay.
going to bother me
Yeah,
forever.
Chuck Jones.
And all the listeners were like, hand in your fucking nerd card right now. So I had to clarify. But yeah, then that looks beautiful too. I can't believe how long that is. That was only like 4 pages per month.
Yeah, and then page may not be quite right, but it was just barely any pages. You know, you figure it was an
Yeah.
answer on a magazine. And one fun thing is they had done a Metroid comic with Samus way
nice.
back in Nintendo Power, and I'm hoping that they republish it like they've done with this.
That's awesome.
So everybody go buy this so that we can get a Metroid one too.
Yes. Awesome. So let's talk about masturbating.
oh,
Because don't pretend like you're not excited as fuck, Miss Porn Parody Queen.
that wasn't me. That was I was like,
She
what-
likes porn parodies, but she doesn't masturbate to them.
Remember, because we did
I watched
ask
them for
her,
science.
like,
Yeah, you
we
did.
asked her if she masturbated to him because we were confused. Like, at what point do
Right,
you
like,
like
where
start
are you
and finish? How
aroused?
do you time that? Because like my porn watching is like 30 seconds. Like, I just need.
They're pretty long considering
yeah,
that.
porn parody. Yeah.
That aspect, it's like 2 hours,
I
right?
didn't read
I
it.
know. She's.
I didn't have time to read it.
It's okay. So, but are we good? Is it?
Yeah, no.
Okay. Because the extreme
No, just
lack
when you-
of excitement for that was
when you
like
open up a sentence,
with
when you
let's
open
talk
up a
about
story,
masturbating.
Yeah,
Usually for me, I'm like, all right, woo, let's talk about it.
needed like a segue,
Like a
some
segue?
foreplay.
Okay.
I need some foreplay.
Okay. Sorry.
We need to get her.
Picture this: a warm
Shut your eyes.
summer evening. Your curtains are blowing lazily.
Ew,
in the
okay.
breeze.
Tell us the story. Just tell us the story.
Curtains. Like, just like,
Gross.
are we talking about?
With this foreplay, can we just move on to the thing?
Crystal. See, you know, this is why we always get told we're misunderstood. We say that we want foreplay, and then halfway through it, we're like, get to the main event.
Just come already.
So, there is, maybe here in Utah more than any other place in the country, but I mean, that's probably biased, a huge fucking stigma about this subject. Nobody wants to admit that they do it, least of all women. But a nationally representative U.S. sample found that in an anonymous survey, 94% of men admit to masturbating and 85% of women admit to it. So there is this really awesome story talking about happy news. Masturbation actually has tons of really awesome health benefits, both for you and for your partner. And because there's such a stigma about, I mean, think about like the old, shame stories your parents used to tell you. It'll make you go blind, or, it can make your wiener fall off, or your hands grow hair, or it makes you infertile.
That's terrifying.
Yeah,
All
right.
those things are terrifying.
Right?
Don't do it.
But actually, there are so many really great benefits, both physically and mentally, to doing this act, which before we get too far into it, by definition, I like how this article goes into it. Let's normalize this a bit. Masturbation is, by definition, touching one's genitals for pleasure. And it's something that babies do in the womb. So we do this from before we even are born. It's a normal and natural part of healthy development for, human beings. The positive health benefits of this are really great. It can lower the risk of type 2 diabetes, reduce insomnia through hormonal and tension release. It can increase the strength of the pelvic floor, which is particularly of importance for women, especially women who have had children or planning to have children.
Because you need it to fight crime.
You do need it to fight crime.
Not all dudes have pelvic floors.
Which is the contractions during orgasm can help increase the strength of the pelvic floor. For women, it can help prevent cervical infections and urinary tract infections. For men, it can reduce the risk of prostate cancer. It does reduce the risk of prostate cancer by giving the prostate a chance to flush out potential cancer-causing agents. It also improves immune function by increasing cortisol levels. It reduces depression by increasing the amount of endorphins in the bloodstream. It also reduces, of course, the risk of transmission of STIs because you can't give yourself something that you don't have. There are also plenty of additional benefits of regular orgasms, including reduced stress, reduced blood pressure, increased self-esteem, and reduced pain. Actually, one of the things that they tell women who have really severe menstrual cramps is that an orgasm can actually help relieve them.
Is it just the more endorphins in your system?
It also has to do with the fact that during orgasm, those parts of the female body contract and fill with blood, which can help sort of think of it how you would massage your shoulders if you had a lot of tension in your shoulders.
Sure.
So it's sort of getting
Got a lot of tension in my vagina.
Gotta go massage it out. Deep tissue massage.
Deep tissue massage.
So now what about for your partner? So from a sexual health point of view, it is one of the safest sexual behaviors. Of course, there's no risk of pregnancy, STDs. It can also help, not to get, let's not get too far into this intimacy thing, but it's something that can help build intimacy between yourself and your partner. But normalizing and talking about masturbation promotes sex-positive views in our homes and society and allows us to teach young people healthy behaviors and attitudes without stigma and shame. So really, let's start talking about this in a more positive and normal light.
And I want to bring up, too, though, because there is the other side to it.
Right.
Like drugs.
There's an addiction.
Yeah, like drugs and masturbation should be used responsibly.
Yeah,
Right.
like wow.
Exactly. As we talked, I said that last week.
I mean like an exclamation. Like wow.
Wow.
Wowie
Wow.
gee.
Yeah,
No.
use wow sparingly.
Right.
Wow.
Because then it just doesn't mean anything.
It's like the F word.
Yeah.
I wow you.
Yeah. And so some pointers to know that you're doing it too much.
Yeah.
I found this list. It says, first thing, if you're hurting yourself,
Yeah.
it's probably unhealthy. I'm like, what?
No, it's like that episode of Futurama,
Some
right? The
guys-
spirit is willing, but the flesh is spongy
some
and
guys
bruised.
beat off to a point of injury.
Yeah.
Ow.
Dude, if you're beating off so much that you're hurting yourself, I'm going to say you have a problem.
Yes.
If it's
I
affecting...
know some guys like that.
That's you're flangulating.
Yeah, you're yanking it too hard.
Tyson.
We know he's listening.
If it starts to affect your relationship or your job.
Yes, I actually know of people who have told me that they have been late to work, been late from lunch breaks, or have called into work to masturbate, to stay home and masturbate. That is probably a good indication that you have a problem.
Yeah, another
Much like
indication
alcohol.
is if you start having difficulty ejaculating when you have normal sex. If the only way you can get off is if you have to masturbate, then you're probably doing it too much. If you can't stop thinking about it.
all day, every day of the week and twice on Sundays.
What was that
Every
movie?
day I'm jerking off.
What was the movie with Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
Don
Oh,
John.
yeah. Don Juan.
Okay, that
No,
was-
Don John.
Don John.
Don John?
Don John.
Don John.
John.
Don John.
Don John.
Movie was depressing.
It was.
It was sad.
It was very hard to watch. Like, it was good.
It was
but
also very hard.
so hard. So another indication that you have a problem is if you've tried to cut back but you can't.
Yeah, so like any sort of
Exactly.
thing that you do for pleasure, like you said,
Masturbate
like
responsibly.
drugs or alcohol, things like that. Like if you can do it in a way that's not hurting yourself and not hurting anyone else, you're probably fine. If it starts to, affect your daily life, probably want to cut back a little bit.
Or decision making.
Or decision making. You're like, I'm sorry, I've got to go release this. I'm tense in my vagina.
Yes, I've got so
much
tension. So yeah, thank you. That's awesome. Thanks for contributing to that, Crystal.
So,
Yeah.
is this the end of the episode?
Did we do it?
Thank you all so much for joining us for episode number 164 of Hello,
Sweetie.
Especially thanks
Lucas.
Yes, to
Thank you,
Lucas for
Thanks for having
being
me.
here. And why don't you tell all of our lovely listeners where they can
Find
follow you and find the things that you produce?
BigShinyRobot.com
At Damn It Lucas.
and at DamnItLucas on Twitter. I don't think it's anything particularly exciting, but that's where I am. And I've started drawing more, and if you're curious about that, I've been doing that on lucasstrips.com, which is a double entendre.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
like
going to
Lucas
say.
Strips.
nice.
Some people
I was
might
like,
be.
huh?
And as much as I'd like to take credit, Heather came up with that.
Nah, your goddamn
That's
beautiful
because
wife,
she-
Heather.
And you
one
can
witty
come
son of a
and
bitch.
see us all at the swap meet.
Yeah, you guys are going to come hang out with
We
me,
are.
right?
We've got
Yep.
a table.
We got pogs to sell.
We're vending.
That's true.
We vended.
Every day we're vending.
That should
Make
be
it
pretty
rain.
fun.
And when is the date and time of that again? Just to remind
May
people.
31st at
2.
It's 2 to 7
Good job. Yep. May 31st from 2 to 7. And I believe,
at Bohemian Brewery.
yep, at the Bohemian Brewery. Come hang out with us.
Boho Brew.
Lots of cool collectibles.
Bratwurst.
Yep.
Lots of bratwurst. And I think this time we're going to have the brat cart and a beer cart outside.
Yeah.
And like Trent's going to be bringing his comic trailer. He has some massive comic trailer that he'll be bringing up.
Like a bookmobile, but for dreams.
Exactly.
Books are dreamy.
That's true. All right. Well, then, with that, with no further ado,
Hello, fellow American. You should vote for me. I leave power. Good. Thank you. Thank you. If you vote me, I'm hot. Taxes, they'll be lower. Son, the Democratic vote for me is right thing to do. Philadelphia, so do.
I love
you
Charlie Day.
If you find you don't have time during your busy day for sex, then start having microsex while you go for coffee or fold laundry. Just super tiny sex.
Thunderdome's simple. Get to the weapons. Use them any way you can. I know you won't break the rules because there aren't any.
I'm terrified beyond the capacity for rational thought.
yes, nice. Very good.
Predictable, but thank you.
I'm very sorry if she tipped anyone off about your cunningly concealed herd of cows.
I forgot to end my quote with, "We don't need another hero."
Out of the ruins, out from the wreckage, can't make the same mistake this time. We are the children, the last generation. We are the ones they left behind. And I wonder when we are ever gonna change. Living under the fear till nothing else remains.
You
No,
should
wait.
vote me.
No,
Oh, wait,
hello, sweetie.
We already did that.
We did?
We already did that.
Whoops.
Where were you?
I'm sorry.
All right.
Lucas
okay.
joined in. It was beautiful.
I'm not doing that again.
Take 2.
That day is coming. All else are castles built in the air. And I wonder when we are ever gonna change. Living under the fear till nothing else remains. All the children say we don't need another hero. We don't need to know the way home. All we want is life beyond the Thunderdome. So what do we do in our lives? We leave only a mark. Will our story shine like a light? Or is this the time? Is it all or nothing? We don't need another hero. We don't need to know the way home. All we want is life beyond Thunderdome. All the children say we don't need another hero. We don't need another hero. All we want is life beyond Thunderdome.
The Mormon sexologist Melissa Jones on Active Sex Lives.
But if you look back, there are subtle messages. You know, I think President Hinckley was ahead of his time when he told couples date every week. I think, you know, I can translate that into go on a date every week and then come home and have sex.
To hear more of this interview and more thought-provoking discussions, check out Slug Soundwaves on iTunes, Stitcher, and slugmag.com.